this will be mine. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to stick in a little lancet like that, and then we're going to take a drop of blood, we'll put it in the cassette. I'll show you exactly what we're going to do. And then we're going to put a little buffer in there. Here's my buffering agents, and we're going to see within a matter of a couple of minutes whether or not we have any antibodies, if they've been exposed or not. So what I'm going to do with your cartridge here.
Have you done this for yourself? Do you have antibodies?
I haven't been exposed. So, we need that. We need a lancet.
She turns blue when I'm pregnant?
With twins.
Now that would make the front page.
And some antibiotics if we need it. Start hemorrhaging. Okay.
I have a finger.
And we need
Now why would it come out invalid?
if you don't see the control. You got to see the control. Okay, you all right?
You put the alcohol on that one.
Yeah, let's make sure we use one. Get this with one drop of blood. For you, put that blood out of here. I'm going to put this in here. Then we're going to put a couple drops of buffer of the solution. And then what we're going to see here is we're going to see what's called lateral flow. And you can see already it's starting to be pink right there. So we're going to trace that all the way up. Let's see, Maura. Okay. And what we're going to look for is to see, is there a band for IgM that comes up? Is there a band for IgG, meaning you have had or have those antibodies? And there will be a line that's coming up right now in red. It's a control line. I think you see a little red line there. Do you see a little red line?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the control,
Gotcha.
right? So that says that the blood went up there with the buffer. It went through the filtration paper, okay? And if you just have control, okay, no evidence of any IgG or IgM, which is how yours looks right now. We're going to wait another couple minutes. That's a negative. That means you haven't been exposed to COVID-19 or you don't have any antibody production, either acutely or long-term. I think ideally what we would like to see in most people who are healthy is that they have the control and the IgG, because that means they're now through the disease, they're in the convalescent phase, and now we need to know, what does that IgG represent? Will it confer any immunity to you or not? We don't know. That's the big $64,000 question that we're trying to figure out. Now, why is it also important is because if we test in mass, we're going to be able to find out how many people have had the disease. We'll see an IgG band, right? And that means that they have it. They've been exposed. And then we can estimate through statisticians what percentage of people in Monroe County have already had COVID. It might be 60%, it might be 70%, it could be higher. That's why the incidence of illness is so low down there. So we have to test people in mass. And if you have any immunity, obviously these would be potential people for frontline jobs. To be with the public, still social distancing, wearing a mask, and everything that's set out there for the guidelines to prevent the spread, okay? But theoretically, if you have immunity, you're not going to get the disease again from somebody else, we would hope. And obviously, if you've been through it and you've cured yourself, you're not going to give it to anybody. So that's the whole idea of being prepared, getting ready before anybody else, so that when they open up and the border, at the Monroe date and tourists or people start coming down, we're going to be ready to say, hopefully, listen, all of you, you've got these jobs, and you who haven't been exposed to it, you need to stay away from the public arena right now until this totally settles down. So at this point, you're negative. There you go. And no charge for that. So that's how we can do this, and if you had enough sites with enough people spread throughout the county, you can see with proficiency, you could probably do per person roughly 6 people an hour. Have everything lined up, boom, 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 maybe even more. So if you can do 6 an hour and you got 5 people doing it, okay, times 10, you can do 300 people in a day. Okay, now how long would that take to get 3,000 people? 10 days. And we would know pretty much the statistics of the percent of people in Monroe County that have had COVID-19 and have IgG antibodies that have been through it, and hopefully that will confer some element of immunity. Small, medium, large, and for how long? We don't know. Those studies are being done now. That's why they say test, 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 because that will tell us how to go in the future. Okay? But I want Monroe County to be the first county that actually has their data and is ready to go. That's what I think is the right way to move through this. These test kits are not expensive, and you can get them in mass and set up your testing sites. But then the other component of this is if people come in, being able to do the rapid corona test, a rapid nasopharyngeal, and get a result. If somebody gets sick while they're here as a tourist, they go to a testing center, and literally within 15 minutes we know, are you sick because you have coronavirus, or are you sick because you have another virus? Well, if you got corona, then we have to have the algorithm of what to do. Okay, if you got coronavirus, we need your contacts. Where are your contacts? We need to test them to make sure that they're not going around town infecting anybody, and then decisions have to be made about how long are they on quarantine. Would some treatment be available that a doctor could start them on to limit the amount of quarantine time? But again, trying to figure out how to be ready, how to handle it, and not just be sitting there going, oh my God, what should we do? As everybody here has always said, we need to be ahead of this thing. And so, yeah, you can open a park or you can do something, but getting the restaurants and the hotels going and businesses, construction, that's the key. That's what we need to get done.